Good evening, friends. So welcome to Hyderabad Debating Club debate number 16 for the second debate of this calendar year 2022. Just give yourself a big round of applause for taking time and joining us today. Okay, so why do we debate? What is the benefit do we get through debating? Well, debating gives life-changing cognitive and presentation skills. Debate builds confidence in public speaking and analysis of arguments and also strategic thinking. So researchers say that through debating, one learns the art of structuring and organizing thoughts. Hyderabad Debating Community, HDC, is not for profit community that exclusively conducts debates, and it's not governed by any organization. And today's debate is yet another interesting topic. Cryptocurrency must be legalized in India. Okay, I'm sure, one second, how do you go back? I'm sure the debaters are already briefed, but I'll take time to brief everyone in this room today how this debate is going to be conducted. Right? Before the debate begins, we will be first doing a pre-debate polling. We have 7 judges with us, and I have already shared a link in the judges group to cast their poll or opinion based on the motion. Cryptocurrency should be legalized in India. What do they think? One, they have casted their vote, and after that, what we'll do is we'll start the debate. And first, we have 2 teams. Each team we have 3 debaters. We will do a flip of a coin, that is a toss, and the leaders of both the teams will be there in the toss. Whoever wins this toss will get an option to either speak for the motion or against the motion. And whoever loses the toss will either choose to speak first or second, right? So once that is decided, then the teams get ready to actually debate. So here we have 3 rounds of debates. The first round is called introduction round. The second is introduction or rebuttal round. And third is the conclusion round. In the first round, each debater gets 3 minutes to speak. And we have only 2 speakers from each of the teams going to speak in the first round, that is introduction. It goes in a round robin fashion. For example, let us say proposition team wants to speak first. It's what the order is. Speaker 1 from proposition team will come and speak for 3 minutes. And then speaker 1 of opposition team will come and speak for 3 minutes, followed by speaker 2 of proposition team and speaker 2 of opposition team. Once this 4 speakers complete their introduction speech of 3 minutes each, both the teams will be sent to a breakout room where they will have a strategic 5 minutes breakout to discuss on how and what to do in the next round, the rebuttal or interjection round, right? So after the 5 minutes, both the teams will come again into the main room, and all the 3 speakers will start speaking, one after the other, again in a round robin fashion. The second round is also for 3 minutes each. First speaker 1 from proposition team will come and speak for 3 minutes, followed by opposition speaker 1, then proposition speaker 2, opposition speaker 2, proposition speaker 3, and opposition speaker 3. Once this rebuttal interjection round is completed, both the teams will be again sent to a strategic breakout room, which is for 3 minutes. And this time they'll gather all their thoughts to come and talk for 3.5 minutes in the conclusion round. But this time in the conclusion round, only 1 speaker gets a chance to speak in the conclusion round. Whichever speaker did not speak in introduction round is the speaker from each team that will come and speak in the conclusion round. So speaker 3 of proposition will come and speak for 3.5 minutes, followed by opposition speaker 3 for 3.5 minutes. Now this example, what you see in the screen, is an example as if the proposition team goes first in speaking. It all depends on who loses the toss and who wins the toss. Let me say it again, whoever wins the toss gets to choose whether they want to propose or oppose the motion. Whoever loses the toss gets to choose whether they want to speak first or speak second, right? So that is the order of it. Now, after the entire debate is done, both the teams will get an opportunity to answer 2 questions maximum. These questions would be put forth by only the audience or the judges. No debater can question the opposition. So as a debater, you cannot question your opposition team at all. And as a role player, be it timer or Zoom master or moderator, we also cannot question either of the teams. It's only the audience and the secret judges. They can post their questions. Now, in the question, right? Maximum 2 questions for each team, and each question will be given only 2 minutes to answer, not more than 2 minutes. You will not be shown any kind of flag while your Q&A session. The moment 2 minutes cross, the Zoom master or the timer will mute the person who is answering the question. Now, after the Q&A, we have a fact checker report. Thanks to both the teams, they have shared all the facts and links that they shared it to me. I've shared it to the fact checker. The fact checker will come and report what he had heard throughout the debate so far, which are the facts which are seemingly an opinion, but not a fact, right? He has time for 5 minutes to deliver his report on how the debaters actually performed. After this, I'll again post a link to the judges group, asking the secret judges to vote again, right? This time it is post-debate. The judges' first voting was based on their opinion of this motion, whether they want to propose or oppose. The second time when they're voting, it is based on their opinion, how well each team did. So if a team did convincing enough to change the opinion of a judge, that team actually wins. So that's how we decide who is the winner of it. Now, coming back to the timing device, right? Forget the color code here. In the first 2 rounds, introduction and interjection, that is the rebuttal round, the moment the debater starts speaking, timer will show white card and it will stay put for 1 minute. At the end of 1 minute, will be shown a green card. And that green card will stay put for 1 more minute. At the end of 2 minutes, the timer will show a yellow card. Okay, so this yellow card will stay put for 1 more minute. So end of 3rd minute, the timer will simply mute the debater. There will be no red flag or no warning sign to show that 3 minutes is out. So just keep that in mind in introduction round and interjection round, the first round and second round. First minute will be white, second minute will be green, third minute will be yellow color, end of the 3rd minute will be muted. The same goes for the conclusion round. The first minute will be white, the second minute will be green, and third minute from after showing green on the end of 3rd minute, it will transition to yellow and it will stay yellow until 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes 30 seconds. At the end of 3 minutes 30 seconds, we will mute the debater. Okay, the Q&A thing, the timer will show only white or may not even show a flag. Don't worry about keeping an eye on the timer. You get only 2 minutes. Beyond 2 minutes, it will be muted. Timer will just simply mute the speaker who is answering the question, right? And the results, as I already told, based upon the swing of votes from the judges, will determine which team actually won. Who will call Dr. Team A or Team B wants to call?
Pranshu can call. I'm usually
okay, Team B. Okay, Pranshu.
Sure, let me call.
Okay, heads or 10? Just tell it again.
Heads.
Heads it is. Let me see. Flip again. It is heads. So Team B won the toss. Now, what is that you want to choose, Team B?
We will go against the motion.
You're going against the motion.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Team A, Dr. Prasad, do you want to speak?
We will speak second. We will speak.
You want to speak second?
Good evening, everyone. So fundamentals of finance has taught me something, and I think it goes with everyone. That value of any asset is backed by a medium which has an inherent value associated. Most of the times, there's an inherent value. Or when we talk about a currency, it is backed either by a commodity or by a governing body which controls the supply and demand to create a balance in the financial system, just like RBI does in India. Does a cryptocurrency follow these fundamentals? Or if we are terming it as an asset, is it really asset? Maybe it's an asset. Let's say maybe it's an asset or currency. But what is not real is the value assigned to it. We argue that Bitcoin has reached a bubble territory and will ultimately correct. Till then, I believe it's just a speculation, and I believe it will remain as a speculation. So here I am to oppose the motion around legalizing the cryptocurrency in India. My biggest worry around cryptocurrency is its inherent secretive nature, the clandestine nature, which is falling in hands of people, and for the lack of better words, people who are not wise. Bitcoin emerged in 2011 as the currency of choice for drug dealers conducting transactions on a dark website known as Silk Road. And we know that how much border we share with our very friendly neighbors, Pakistan, and what they can do leveraging this medium. Over the past 5 years, the combination of an encrypted network hidden from most of the world and a transactional currency that is nearly untrackable by law enforcement officials resulted in a small but significant marketplace of illicit vendors selling illegal wares. Some more facts around this. Terbium Labs, one of the websites, it's like a marketplace, and many of the transactions are fueled by Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies such as Monero. And I don't have to tell the audience here that what you can buy from there. Even you can buy a ballistic missile as well. So a recent report by a leading crypto payment analytic firm, Chain Analysis, shows that Bitcoin transactions on the dark web grew from approximately $250 million to $1 billion in 2019. So my suggestion will be for all the investors who are looking for a multi-bagger potential of cryptos, there are other ways to be millionaire as well without taking the amount of risk as you would be taking with cryptos. And what's the use of money when we can't live in a safe world? So do you want more money or a just world with a little less? I will choose the latter.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. So today I'm going to talking about the cryptocurrency, which is one of the fast-growing electronic currency. And I never thought of using a Google Pay or UPI payments in older days, a past decade, when they are introduced. And nowadays, coconut person who is selling coconuts is also using these payments. I never thought of it. And new adoption has both sides of coin. My team feels net effect is strong positive, and let me explain them. There is a country called El Salvador. Is a proven and using it cryptocurrency as a legal. And countries like United States of America and Germany, crypto is partly accepted as digital assets and commodity, but not as a legal tender as a currency. So can accept the payments in currency in these countries. And some 86% of world central banks are exploring possibilities of cryptocurrencies. And banks in England is busy in investigating possibility of so-called Bitcoin. While in US quietly tested waters of its own e-dollar, and other nations have moved into experimental phase, with Sweden testing its own e-krona, a cryptocurrency, and China conducting a pilot of its e-yuan, involving half of a million of its citizens. And the Brahmas, meanwhile, has already introduced its own digital currency. And top countries like India already invested $100 million. And USA 27, Nigeria 13 millions, and Vietnam, UK already been invested cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency enables people to overcome issues like lack of lack and inadequate access to financial services, and absence of social trust. What is more, and increasing financial inclusion and enhancing funds traceability enables developing nations to address problems of traditional financial systems. I strongly believe that, so it's a fast growing, and in future, people definitely use the cryptocurrency. Yeah, with that, I hand it over back to you.
Mutual fund investment subject to market risk. Heard that line before? You know, the most important word in that line is risk. You know, we all live with risk. Some of us know the risk we take. We realize it when our stock loses value. Now, what about those who don't know what risk they're taking? You know, a lot of people say, you know, cryptocurrency is the currency of the future. And then they come up with these terms like, you know, smart contracts or dumb contracts. And then these are rules which can be programmed into something known as a DAO, decentralized automated organization, and then it can be executed automatically. Let me tell you something. The more I listen to all this jargon, the more it drives me nuts. Now, let's, for instance, go to that coconut vendor, which my proposition person just said. Now, let's go to that coconut vendor and explain this to him. I'd like you to know the look on his face. He won't have a clue of what I'm talking about. And this is precisely the point I'm getting. This whole industry invented so much of jargon. Now, look at what we're having. As it is, we have haves and have-nots. Now we're going to have understands and understands not. You know what we just did? We just made the digital divide a lot more bigger. How on earth is anybody going to be able to trade with a currency they have head nor tail of? They don't even know. How do you get them to trade? You can't. It's tough. Oh, then there are those people who tell me, oh, you know, you underestimate the youth today. So many people are, you know, buying cryptocurrency in these tier 2 cities. What are you talking about? Oh, no, I actually don't. In fact, I know this very well. In fact, who among us here doesn't have a friend who's not trading in cryptocurrency? I'm sure we do, right? But that's the whole point. I said trading in cryptocurrency. People buy to invest. Why do they invest in cryptocurrency? Because they know at some point in the future, whether it's Ether, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Tether, the value is going to go up, right? It is, after all, an asset class, just like any other thing we call an asset class. Now, just think, will you take an asset class you own like Reliance share and walk into a mall tomorrow and they say pay in cash, and you say, oh no, instead let me give you 5 Reliance shares. Anybody going to do that here? I don't think anybody in their right mind will do that. Right? So once and for all, let's call out cryptocurrency for what it is, a speculative asset class. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, finally, there's the question of credit. Now, all businesses run on credit, right? Whether it's working capital, small businesses, large business, you need credit. Now, how does one get it? You go to the bank says, you want credit, give me collateral. Now, I'm going to ask for a loan. I have to give a collateral. Now, how are we supposed to evaluate that collateral on cryptocurrency? Do you know how volatile that is? So is any bank going to give me a loan on the basis of an asset which is volatile? I guess not. So no loan, no credit. How is the economy supposed to work?
Friends, the first thing is to note that cryptocurrency is not illegal in India. There is a Supreme Court advocate, Ila Sheel, in March 2020, she made a video where she says that cryptocurrency is legal. And the thing that she says is RBI tried to make it illegal, and the Supreme Court said that the RBI circular was bad in law, illegal, violated fundamental rights guaranteed to the Constitution of India. And they said you cannot ban crypto. Now, one of my opponents said that, you know, it is an inherently secretive, clandestine nature of cryptocurrency. Somehow the Supreme Court seems to feel that it is not such a bad thing. And if at all it is, wouldn't it be better to make it less clandestine by legalizing it and putting certain laws around it? Now he says transactions have gone up exponentially. My God, crypto, so many crime. Now there is a link that I sent the fact checker. Coindesk.com reports that crypto crime has hit an all-time high. But in comparison to the overall crypto exchanges that have happened, it is come down to an all-time low. So you see, the overall crypto business has gone up by 100%. Crypto crime might have gone up by 5%. So therefore, and that is a very low thing compared to how much it was. Now, Mario, he says, don't dabble in what you don't know. Yeah, right. Don't dabble if you don't know. It's the same with stocks. In fact, he himself, he's a person who's worked in Franklin Templeton, and he knows that those who don't know about stocks and dabble in it, they're bound to burn their fingers. Somebody said it's in bubble territory. I think it's Pranshu. Aren't stocks in a bubble territory? That is the nature of certain investments and assets. Now, regarding that coconut vendor, he doesn't understand how Paytm also works, does he? He doesn't understand very much, but he's able to use it. And then Mario says, can you go into a shop and buy with Reliance shares? I think that's quite a, I don't know what he meant, but can't you, are you saying you can't buy things with cryptocurrency? In fact, that is what it is being used for. You don't buy with Reliance shares, I agree with you. But cryptocurrency is used to buy things and without extra transaction charges. That is why it has become so popular. So developing nations like Germany, EU, USA have actually put taxes on crypto, and they're allowing it. It is countries like China, Algeria, and some others which have banned it. Which side would you like to be on? Algeria, Bangladesh, Morocco, China, or Germany, UK, France, USA? That's where I would like to end. Thank you.
Friends, cryptocurrency in the current form as Bitcoins, Ethereum, Binance, Tether, or any of the 6,000 cryptocurrencies in the world today are more of a problem than a solution. In fact, Bitcoin should never have been termed a currency. Pranshu has rightly said there is no underlying wealth. Crypto is just a digital token. The value of these crypto coins shall always be a perennial debate. There's no agreed model, concept, idea, agreement, meeting of minds, common ground, or basically anything to arrive at computation of value that any single crypto currency really represents. Add to this poor anti-money laundering due to poor customer due diligence, no suspicious activity reports. Most exchanges permit single transaction up to $1,000 with only a phone number or an email ID as customer information both ends. Each one of us in this debate can create 60 fake email IDs in the next 1 hour. Crypto exchanges are not incentivized to monitor and report any financial fraud. This leads to profit being prioritized over compliance. Cryptocurrency, in essence, is like a lady in the house who has fire in her. If loved correctly, she will warm the entire house. If abused, she can burn the house down. Derivative products like NFTs, non-fungible tokens that offer partial ownership over artistic products, are the next big hot kid on the block. Now, the value of these products depends on intangibles like quality, uniqueness, and cloud of the creator, everything, all intangibles. Imagine your entire life savings are in these NFTs and the value would drop over 97% in 15 minutes just because the creator of that art was, say, caught in a scam. You can say that there's a parallel right here in India where PMC Bank in Mumbai caused loss to thousands of investors. And that's exactly the point I want to make. The fact is PMC Bank is going to merge with Unity SFB and 96% of the investors are going to be paid back over 10 years. Is it not better than losing everything forever? Please note this is not going to be possible with crypto crash. I therefore to note that we have to be better safe than sorry. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Vijayan. Thank you, opposition team. You have put in amazing points, but I felt they are half-hearted points, don't you think? I will start with one point that I love the best today. That was made by Ajit. Cryptocurrencies, he compared with a woman in a house with fire. And if you abuse it, it is going to create a calamity. But what is the best way to avoid a calamity? We know that we have a woman and we have a fire. We have to nurture it. We have to understand the risk. How can we do that? By creating rules, regulations, and laws that can abide by that. People understanding what we can do with it. That's the best way we can avoid something. And then one of our opposition member has said that we can buy so many illegal weapons from websites using bitcoins. Is that something new that we are not doing with our cash or gold or other assets? We have been looking at so many cases where people have bought illegal weapons, illegal drugs, animals on websites through money. This is not new, but there are laws that avoids that, and we have to bring in laws that will avoid this. So that is not a reason to stop crypto becoming a legal thing in India. And one of our other opposition member has said, if I go to the coconut vendor and tell him about this crypto thing and everything, he will give me a baffled look. Obviously, he is not prepared for that. Go talk to a person who is prepared and tell him, we are taking this right from you, and listen to him give you the reasons why you should not do that. And one other member has said that there is no way you can track and trace things. There are ways, there are proven cases where when there was a website hacked by people asking for bitcoins as ransom, where these cases are solved successfully. We have shared those links with our fact checker. Have a look at that. You will get a very good information on this. This is not a case of making it legal or not. This is a case of taking the basic right that is provided by our constitution to us. Even the Supreme Court has said it. Whatever the RBI has decided, proposed, is against our constitutional right. Our finance minister is saying that we are going to experiment, we are going to bring in laws that make us happy. We have to give it a shot. Just because we are not ready now doesn't mean we are not going to get ready in 5 years. Who have thought that I will use my mobile as a banking account for any transactions? I haven't used cash in, I guess, in some months. Everything I use my mobile. Maybe in someday everything will get into a place where crypto will be the point of transaction, and we are not ready for that. Do you want us to do that?
Thank you. My fellow friends have made quite a few glitzy remarks around using Google payment engines, or in fact comparing. How can you compare a Google payment engine with something like crypto? So my friend Ram was vouching for the fact that we can, if we can pay from something like Google Pay, why can't we have cryptos? So Ram, just imagine you are in you went with your family, you went for a dinner, and after enjoying a sumptuous meal, you ask the manager, okay, what's the bill? He says that it is somewhere around 10,000 rupees. So you ask that you would like to pay through a crypto swipe card or through a crypto wallet, right? Can you know the amount of time it will take to swipe the very cryptocurrency from your wallet? The amount of the value of the crypto can change. It is that volatile. Either you will gain more than 5,000 rupees or you will lose those 5,000 rupees. So that is the biggest concern we have, that it is so volatile. And why it is volatile? Because the very nature of this medium, which is, it is unreal. It is something in the air. So do you really need such payment engine? I guess I would not like to have that sort of payment engine. Larry, my good friend, you also shared the same thing, that you haven't used cash. You are using payment engines. So why not continue doing the same? Then Ram also mentioned about El Salvador. Do you know, 3 days ago or 4 days ago, Amazon has urged El Salvador to remove Bitcoin because the very coin has lost half of its value in November. So when we are comparing something with nothing, I think it's not, it's like comparing apples to oranges. And also our good friend Mr. Prasad talked about, okay, there's a bubble in the stock market as well, right? Maybe, yes, as an investor, I understand that we are in a bubble economy, but I can see that what is Asian, for example, if I'm an investor in Asian Paint stock, I can see Asian Paint's outlet outside, I can see their P&L statement, I can see the cash flows coming in and going out of Asian Paints. So I can relate that, okay, if this is a stock price, it is not in air. But do we have a similar mechanism for something like Bitcoin? Do we know the underlying value of Bitcoin? I guess no. So even if I have to speculate, I will speculate for something like Asian Paints rather than on Bitcoin. So it's easier said than done, but everything is in air when we talk about cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, there was a very good discussions going on around the cryptocurrency, and really I liked it, pros and cons. But so there is some assumptions are made by our opponents. So fake email ID, one of my opponents said fake email ID or phone numbers, they can make it a transaction. But cryptocurrency is one of the very secured technological current technology they were using it. And even I filed in 2018 few patent applications in my company where I've been working on a security company with the locks. So all the user data, the username and SSN number and all those things gets into the secured cryptocurrency technology, and they will use a code to re-get the information using the hash. And one of my best friend told me that, so saying that ballistic missiles, day before yesterday, last week, there are few missiles, North Korea purchased the technology from other countries like Pakistan, and they started making it. They were doing it using doing it using cash and currency, not crypto. So it has been happening. Why? So, and it's continuously been happening. And North Korea purchased a nuclear technology, a very secure technology, and started making the nuclear power plants. That's been currently happening, and crypto is not stopping anywhere. So it's been there. And where we are, so Prayanshu made the point, it is a volatile, and regulation, it is volatile. So stocks are, where are you? Stocks are being suddenly falling down millions of dollars and jumping up. So you cannot trust, we are in a world that sometimes it gets up and down, but there is a consequence. So crypto, Google Pay we can use Google Pay as a cash transactions, but crypto is also with the rules and regulations, they can make it a possible. That's make it happen. And even when you are in with your friends, when you are in restaurant and purchasing with the cryptocurrency, definitely you'll see very in near future you can buy using cryptocurrency as well, Prayanshu. And yeah, millions of dollars in crypto. So one more, my best friend is pointed that it's secure transactions. So it is a secure transactions, and already told that 100 million people in India already been invested in cryptocurrency. Do you say that they are fools? United States, 27 million people, not 100, 200 people, boss. 27 million people already been invested. They are fools? No. They believe that it's a secure transaction, and it has a future. So all friends will also believe strongly that this is one of the future technology and future currency is going to come up and will be going to.
Thank you. Right. Let me start with saying that nobody is really saying anybody is fools. I know there are millions of Indians who are investing in cryptocurrency. What would you think? In every 10 minutes in T20, there's an ad popping up saying crypto. Eventually, people are going to use herd mentality and put their money in cryptocurrency. Now, first, let me talk about something which has interested all of us here until now. This coconut vendor has been mentioned so many times. I'm going to talk about now. There's a lot of thing going about this coconut vendor. I was talking about a smart contract. I'm not talking about a simple transaction where somebody comes and pays for coconut. No, I'm talking about a whole value chain here. The time the coconut leaves the farm, gets transported to a warehouse, and then sent to this person. Now, in an ideal smart contract, this entire chain is going to be digitized into a smart contract, and each member is going to get paid only based on certain conditions in the smart contract. Now, tell this to a coconut vendor and see what he says. This is the jargon which we are drowned, which we understand, but he would be drowned in, right? So how do you explain this? And you cannot simply explain this to him away. He, being an Indian like all of us, would want to know what's holding up. Why if something fails, go and try and explain to him why things have failed. He won't know what you're talking about. Now, talking about transactions, right? Thousands of Indians are using cryptocurrency. What's the speed of transactions? In Bitcoin, every 10 minutes, one block gets processed. How does that work for speed? I mean, when you're talking about banks, right? Banks carry millions of transactions per minute. The reason Visa and Master are still in business is they can process millions of transactions per minute. Cryptocurrency is not there yet. I mean, you can't have people trying to make transactions and going into a wait queue, right? It's too bad, right? Somebody also said that the Dominican El Salvador is championing the cause of Bitcoin, and it's great. But guess what? The last week, their dollar bonds are dropping. Now their dollar bonds they've got debts piling up. Now their debt increases. They have to start paying foreign currency debt. It just became more expensive. Now this is not a good sign for a country like us with 1 billion people. Just imagine what kind of complications we run into if we have that kind of forex exposure, right? Setting ourselves for all kinds of liabilities we can't see now. Little cautious we have to be when we start opening up this whole gate to allow other people in. So I'm glad you brought this up. This is something we should really be cautious of while looking at El Salvador. Thank you.
Different people have said different things, but effectively what they're saying is, I don't understand it, so nobody should use it. To me, that doesn't make sense. If you don't understand it, don't use it. People who don't understand stocks should not invest in stocks. As that Mario said that quickly, stock markets are subjected to that is a valid thing. Now, Pranshu was saying, Asian Paints, I can see the thing. What is the value? What is the thing? What do you mean by a stock market bubble? We are in a stock market bubble. At least many people seem to think so. Markets are crashing. What does it mean? It means that people cannot see the real value. They imagine the value of something, but its actual value is something else. That is what is a bubble. Whether you're talking about stocks or crypto, whatever it is, if the valuations are unreal, you're in a bubble territory. Now, if you don't understand these things, a person who understands the real value of that share, let's say Tesla or Hertz or whatever it is, they will put only that much. They will exit if the valuations exceed the limit. All right. So that is the primary argument. Now, you say we think that we are smarter than many countries. When you say, oh, we don't, I mean, it has no value, this, that. The Bank of England, and I've sent these links to the fact checker. Bank of England is exploring the possibility of Bitcoin. USA is quietly testing waters for its own e-dollar. Sweden is testing e-krona. China is conducting a pilot of e-yuan. Okay, and Bahama has already introduced its currency. And as my teammate said, Nirmala Sitharaman has made this statement in March 2020. The government will not take any extreme actions. We want to have a window available for all kinds of experiments which will take place in the crypto world. You say these people are, she's a finance minister of the country. Surely she knows more than you and me. Why would she want to say, we will think about stuff which has no value, which is nonsense, which is going to, ruin people's lives? You can't, pay for a thing in a restaurant, but we are going to actively go and study it, and we are going to make policy. This is what Nirmala Sitharaman says, who knows more than Mario, me, and Ajit, I hope. Otherwise, we are in trouble. And the question of, oh, you can't buy in a restaurant. Yeah, you buy with something. There are some things you can buy only with crypto. Buy those things. If you say, I can't go and buy with this. And somebody said, as of yet, the speed, I think it was Mario who said, cryptocurrency has not reached that speed as of yet. I agree with you. I want that speed to increase. And the way to do it is make it legal, make the transactions, then you will probably have you will be able to pay for your
Friends, I would like to highlight to you how the opponent team has been actually misleading the entire house. Our finance minister has proposed a bill wherein the crypto is going to be recognized as a digital asset and not as a currency. Even the other countries who are planning to bring their own digital coins and investing are going to be the centralized authority monitoring the entire usage. It goes against the very concept of cryptocurrency as it is built today. Let me also add to, for the knowledge of the house, two compelling reasons why I feel cryptocurrency is like a nuclear bomb of an invention that I wish mankind had never invented. Do you all remember Skynet in Terminator and Vicky in iRobot? As in these movies, I think we have already created a monster that is feeding on greed. The bad news is that Bill Maher's quote, "Greed can overtake smart," has already come true. I would like to present to you findings of the University of Cambridge on the far-reaching environmental implications of cryptocurrency. We all know Bitcoins are released through mining. A single Bitcoin consumes 707 kilowatt hours per transaction. Further, energy is also used to run cooling systems to maintain the server temperatures. Totally 121.36 terawatt hours are used per year just to mine Bitcoin, one of the currencies. This is more power than what an entire country of Argentina consumes, or the state of Orissa, which accounts for 10.5% of the Indian population. Friends, NFT is the other hotkey on the blockchain application landscape, which is the second largest culprit. An average NFT generates 440 pounds of carbon, equivalent to the amount of petrol used by a car in a single trip from Vijayawada to Goa. 5 large cryptocurrencies, including blockchain, Ethereum, use proof of work mechanism to validate transactions that account for this massive carbon footprint. Further, there are 9 more such Bitcoin currencies that use proof of work mechanism that actually are undoing all the climate change initiatives that are currently being undertaken across the globe. Friends, please take a step back and think what is fueling all of this. In Mahabharata, Lord Krishna asked Duryodhana just to give 5 villages to the Pandavas and avoid the war. But Duryodhana's greed and arrogance caused his downfall. Is it not mankind's greed and arrogance that is building us to the perils we are undertaking? Friends, it is possible to harness blockchain using cloud applications, but I request till we get to those consensus, this house should unanimously vote against legalizing cryptocurrency as a currency. That's the point I want to leave the house with to ponder, please. Back to you, sir.
Thank you, guys. We had an amazing debate today. I want to start with one point. When computers were first made, they had taken rooms. When the first memory cards were made, we had like what, in not even in GBs, KBs, MBs, what was it? How small was the data and how huge was the place taken for that small data? And today we have this amount of data in our palms. That is the change we got it throughout these decades, because we have given it a thought, we have put an effort and made it efficient. That is what we are going to do with cryptocurrency. Fine, it takes so much energy now. It produces pollution, but there are ways and there are companies which are making ethical and sustainable cryptocurrency. There are so many. We have provided it to our fact checker. And now, fine, if we are going to a restaurant and we cannot see, if we cannot make an online transaction, what is the first question I ask? Where is the nearest ATM? Just because we have cryptocurrency doesn't mean I am replacing it with cash. No, cash is going to be there, but crypto is just an addition. It's not a replacement. We have to believe that fact. And then we can see there are so many art forms where the third parties are taking majority of the stake and the actual artists are not getting enough credit and money. They with the NFTs who only trade through bitcoins or other means of cryptocurrency, the artists are directly got paid. This is how we are going to improve. And with this, there is going to be a huge boost in our fintech. Companies are going to bring in more investments from foreign just because countries are going to regulate and monitor what's happening here. When there are good laws in a country, it always attracts more business. And that is what India have to do. And just because some countries are banning it doesn't mean that it is entirely wrong. China has banned Facebook. Are we not using it? It is one of the biggest source of information now. They are bringing in more other alternatives because they know what is good. They have outweighed, the pros has always outweighed the cons. That is the reason they are bringing in more experimental explorations on the concept of cryptocurrency. All these countries who are very well versed, the developed countries are making experiments on understanding cryptocurrency and bringing it in their economy. Friends, just understand one point. New technology always takes time, but it is always worth waiting and the results are always good. Over to you, Vijay.
Okay, I do see Jay and Sai Sudan raising hands. Okay, let me first ask Jay. Jay, which team do you want to ask the question? Is it for proposition or is it for opposition?
My question will be for proposition team.
Okay, you can shoot out for the proposition team, right? Okay, you can shoot out your question and then one of the members will get 2 minutes to answer your question.
Okay, so my question for proposition team is, you are saying that Bitcoin should be, or cryptocurrency should be legalized, but none of you talked about like what is happening about the cyber security in this front. Like every now and then we see that this cyber exchange has been hacked or that cyber exchange has been hacked, and then the person who are keeping their wallet and their precious cryptocurrency in that simply vanishes. So what do I do? Like, who will pay me back? And as of now, I believe that insurance is also not provided for such wallets. So can you throw some light on that?
Thank you, Jay. And who from proposition would like to answer this?
Can I answer this?
Yes, Dr. Prasad, you have 2 minutes.
Who's the person who asked me the question?
It was Jay Agarwal.
Jay Agarwal. So imagine this is the current situation, right? Now the problem is there is no legislation, there is no legality, nothing. It is all open, out in the open. Imagine a situation where it were made legal, okay? Then wouldn't there be legal redressals? They would have some kind of KYC, some other norms. That is what governments are looking at. See, governments actually want control. So when you legalize something, you don't just say, okay, now it is legal, but we will not, we'll keep our hands off. No, governments will start taking certain steps. They'll make it legal with the idea of how to some extent, protect the citizen of the country. So this is all the more reason why we are saying crypto should be made legal in India. I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad. Now I see Sai Sudan raising hands. So Sai, which team do you like to ask a question to?
My question will be to the opposition team.
Opposition team. Okay,
Yes.
just a note for all Those who want to ask question, keep your questions crisp and short, maybe 1 or 2 lines, less than 10-20 seconds. Over to you, Sai.
Yes. So I heard the opposition team to some extent comparing crypto world with the stock market. So my question to you is, when stock market is moderated and regulated, then is what when you see the cash flow and all the P&L statement available to the public. Why don't you think when these kind of regulations are brought into the crypto world, you will be able to see all those things to the public? Why don't you feel that can happen? Is my question to the opposition.
Okay. So who from the opposition team would like to answer this?
Let me take this question. So
Okay. So Pranshu, you have 2 minutes
Yeah.
to answer the question.
yeah, Sai, it goes against the very tenet of cryptocurrency, which is basically to maintain the secrecy of the whole transactions which are happening on a crypto world. For example, if you have to register as a stock company, as a public company on SEBI's or on BSE or NSE, you have to go through certain disclosure. For example, my favorite stock is Asian Paints. I talked about it previously as well. If Asian Paints has to get listed on a stock exchange in India, the Asian Paint has to declare what revenues they have been generated for last 3 or 5 years, what profits they are generating, how much cash or how much operating cycle they are consuming. But same thing in a crypto world, where the basic tenet is that we will not disclose what transactions are happening on the network, who is consuming, from where the money is coming in, from where the money is going out. It goes against the very fundamental of the cryptocurrency. So it's not possible. So that's why I'm out of the opinion, though both have a bit of speculation in place. Even I speculate, okay, this is going to be the price for Asian Paints tomorrow, but I know that why I am speculating. But in case of something like Bitcoin, I don't have certain variables in front of me to do a similar educated speculation. So my whole argument is, it's not a viable thing, or it's actually futile to compare something like a stock market or something like a stock with something like cryptocurrency, because the inherent fundamentals are very different. Hope I answer this question fine.
Thank you, Pranshu. Okay, any other questions? So each team has got one question each so far. They can be asked one more question. Anyone wants to ask a question? I see Ashok raising hands. So Ashok, which team do you want to ask a question to?
Hello, everyone. This question is for the proposition team.
Proposition team. Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead and
so-
keep your question crisp, Ashok.
Let me try to frame this question a bit crisply. So some people used to say that crypto was something which was not regulated by the government. So that was the reason that they felt safe, so that it was not under the influence of government, and issues like debt or the dilution of money would not happen. So now that we are talking about making it legalized, how do you think this thing will affect? Like, it will be on the same page as money only. All the issues which the money had with government controlling it would be with government controlling crypto also. So what's the solution for that?
So your question is for the proportion team, right?
Yeah.
Okay, who from the proportion team would like to answer this?
I can go ahead.
Okay,
I am not
Lavanya.
sure if I'm going to 100% answer it, but I will try my best.
Yeah, you have 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, the timer will mute you, right?
Okay, cool. Yes. So, Ashok, normally cryptocurrency is known for its transparency and anonymity. And and these two are both pros and cons for cryptocurrency. And what government is trying to do is regulate so that no illicit or illegal activities happen using this cryptocurrency. Like one of our debater has said that maybe we will be able to buy a missile using this cryptocurrency. So we have to track who has bought what using this money. And maybe our country will bring in laws which will utilize some methods, which I am not sure what they are going to do, but some methods that will help in aiding to lessen these kind of illicit activities, to lessen funding money to activities that will create a dent in our economy or in our cultural or ethical values. So that is what our country is going to do. It is same as other commodities which were new for us, and India has come up with rules which has regulated, and India will come up with rules which will not lessen the quality but increase the laws that will enhance the value of the crypto itself. Maybe I have answered. I tried.
Thank you, Lahari. Okay, so this means the proportion team has answered 2 questions. We have one more question that can be asked.
Yeah, this is Prabhu. This is the question.
Yes, Prabhu sir. So your question will be only for the opposition team.
This is for the opposition team. In particular, I want Mr. Mario to answer. Mario is
okay, let me put it straight. You can't ask a specific debater to do it. If the debater is ready, they will be able to answer it, or anyone from the team is allowed to answer it. Right? Sorry about that, but that's how our debate works. Go ahead, Prabhu sir.
Question is for the opposition team. They told that it takes 10 minutes to mine one Bitcoin. I fully agree with them. Mining is different from transaction. Okay, there is a big difference. Okay, we are comparing the transaction speed. Transaction speed in cryptocurrency is much lesser compared to traditional net banking. Okay, can opposition answer to this? Don't go for mining. Talk about the transaction speed. Can someone answer? Because I have done.
Okay, you want to know about the transaction speed of
I'll take this. Thank you. So let me try and answer this to the best of my ability. So transactions are all about blocks being mined. I mean, I launch a transaction. The transaction has to be put into a block before it could be mined. Every block takes 10 minutes, right? So there's a long thing to cryptocurrency, right? To Bitcoin. Your transactions have to be in a block to be mined. Only then the transaction takes place. Now, the time it takes for the transaction to occur may be fast, but there are hundreds of transactions across the net. These have to be fit into the block. Since it's cryptocurrency, the block has to be propagated across all the other nodes on the entire network. And that in itself will take time. Right now, when you're talking about a centralized system like a bank, we don't have to do all that propagation, right? There's no weight. There's no weight, right? There's no weight. And in some systems, like let me even go across Bitcoin. Let me talk about Ethereum. Ethereum, you have to pay something known as a gas fee for your transaction to step up, because there are so many other transactions trying to compete to be mined. So there are some systems like Ethereum where you can pay an additional fee called gas and let your transaction be be done first. So in the end, nothing is free, but the time it takes for that transaction to actually be mined is where the delay is. The transaction in itself may be fast, right? And that's because of the nature of this being decentralized. It has to be propagated across the entire network. And also hope I've answered your question.
Now, the next segment in our debate today is the fact checkers report. That's where Param, as a fact checker, who has been very keenly listening to all the debaters, is going to spill the beans to all of us, how much of them were opinions versus how much of the things spoken by the debaters are actual facts. Over to you, Param. You have 5 minutes.
Sure, thanks, Vijay, and hello all participants. My role of a fact checker was picked up because I couldn't participate in the debate. But now I realize that participating in the debate is much more easier than being a fact checker. As a fact checker, you end up receiving so much of input from both sides that you have to go through each and every fact. And then you need to have a memory to remember it also. I did my best since afternoon or 3 o'clock, and you hardly give me any time to go through it. But so next time anybody is opting for a fact checker, my point is rather opt for being a debater. It's much better job to do than being a fact checker. But having said that, in today's debate, a lot of conversation that happened is with facts which were presented to me. So I do not have any challenge around it, except 1 or 2 aspects which I'd like to call out. One is the aspect of Dr. Prasad mentioning in a response that there is no KYC as a point. But one of the premise of the whole concept of blockchain as well as the technology out here is to kill the concept of KYC. the KYC concept is getting reformed, or rather to say that revised into a new model. Still not sure how it will come up. And a lot of these debates today happening were all based on how the inputs that's going to be received and how it's going to be processed. And then I'll put some facts here which people should know, that at this point of time when we are debating about cryptocurrency, barring one user sitting next to me, I don't think many of us are users of cryptocurrency. We all are reading about it and we are all understanding about it. Probably it is as good as how the industrial age was defined way back in 1914 or 1911, or the computer age was defined way back in 1964s, when people didn't know how a computer will work, what are the risks, pros and cons of a computer, which is by now almost our way of life right now. Right. So these concepts get challenged and improved over a period of time. But what I really would appreciate is more openness to some of the inputs that are being shared. For example, in one of the fact that Ram presented, 100 million people in India invested in crypto. Ram, is this factually correct? I doubt about it. 100 million people. 100 million people around it. So I'm told that 100 million people have invested. I had a doubt because was he debating for the value of the currency or the number of people? So that fact has got checked. The other thing which I would really appreciate is sometimes the comparison of argument was becoming very personalized. I think it's a heat of the debate or the heat of the disagreement to one's own point of view. It can, I don't know whether the rules, because I'm participating for the first time, so I don't know whether the rules permit it, but many times I didn't get some of the meat of the argument coming up, to be honest. How does crypto, a good example of a coconut vendor, but how does crypto actually work in the economics? Economics has a lot of demand and supply. It has got a lot to do with the fight accompli that a currency provides through the gold reserve that a country has got, etc. Nothing got debated around it. Though we speak about decentralized environment of the world, these are the arguments that really need to come for whether India should ban crypto or not. We debated everything about the crypto, but we never came to a conclusion whether India should ban crypto or not. How is it applicable to a developing economy like India? There's a lot of content that's given by one of the facts provided on how crypto can impact the developing economy. Those facts could have been used more extensively in the debate. How does a layman will understand crypto? How does the economist or the chief economic advisor will report about crypto? And how will the parallel economy of crypto and the existing currency will work? Debates never went around that. Debates went more in terms of the coconut vendor, and sweet coconut really hijacked a lot of input about it. It's a good example to take coconut because they say that coconut is one fruit which can actually have coconut fruit in a tree is one thing which can actually give you a full lifetime of employment and income. So it's a good example to have that. But I would still say that as a fact, a lot of facts presented are supported today with the contents provided. And one of the facts which I had doubt also got substantiated. But what's more important is also the fact that we move into content-based arguments, which is what I was keenly looking for. Back to you, Moderator Vijay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Param. And that concludes our fact checker report. Okay, and all the opinions. So which means there are a lot of facts provided. As per the fact checker, kudos to both the teams. Now it's time for the judges to vote based on whatever they have heard so far. So dear secret judges or not so secret, just look at the judges WhatsApp group. I give you 30 seconds to vote for this as well. So before the voting, I hope you all are able to see my screen. Okay. Before the debate began, there were 5 judges who actually proposed for the motion. That is, they needed cryptocurrency to be legalized in India, and 2 of them actually opposed. And after the debate, it stands the same. The count stands the same. What it means, this debate is the second tie in this in our debating history. Well done to both the debaters, both the teams. You spoke well that either you couldn't convince enough for the judges to change their opinion, or your opinion and the judges' opinion just stood the same. So congratulations, both the teams. It's a debate, the second tie for the year. With this, I call it a day because the debate is done. Thank you so much for every role player who took part, every debater who took part.
My name is Prabhu. Okay, topic is very interesting, crypto. Okay, see the nature of universe is anything new coming in, always there is a resistance, whatever it may be. Okay, so crypto is in that stage. Somebody says, okay, 10 years back Bitcoin has come. Let us not worry. The rupee and all has been there for hundreds of years. So compared to that, crypto is in a very nascent stage. But the thing is, as all of us know, crypto is not backed by any government. Okay? It is by some individuals or some companies. For example, even the Facebook, which has become a Meta, they want to introduce their own cryptocurrency called Libra, then they change it to time. Many big companies are also experimenting on this concept called as crypto. For example, if electricity, let me take electricity. If somebody says electricity is good, so many plus points are there. There was one accident, somebody touched a live wire, he died. Can we ban electricity? No. So that is why we have to analyze this crypto in its entirety. Okay, it takes too long a time. We cannot say yes or no. I don't know how much time I have, but I have been reading, doing something on crypto for the past 2 years. Okay, net to net, God's grace, I've made some lakhs of money out of that. But overnight, it can become zero also. That is what someone who said as volatility. I know, yes, it is extremely volatile. But many people, I'll just take half a minute because I can speak for half an hour. Many people say, invest 1% of your asset in crypto. See what happens. Okay, even if you lose 1%, at least it is worth. Maybe let me conclude that way, but let it be through a framework. Let it not be illegal. I'm talking about in India. Let India allow crypto transactions with some framework. Whether they want to charge, as when I trade shares, they charge some 0.1% or something like that. Or in crypto, they make call it as a luxury tax, 48, 40%, whatever it may be. Let there be a legal framework allowing this to happen in India. Let us see for 1 or 2 years. If it is doing so much harm, on any day, we can ban it. Am I correct? It can be stopped overnight on legislation. Ban can. It is worth going in for, but it has got its own plus minus. It takes a lot of time to talk about that. My suggestion would be better for India to go for crypto with a legal framework.
I think it's if you ask me honestly, it's a debate is must for a mentally stimulating. Many times we don't debate fearing the person might feel offended, may dislike us, may disagree with us. But a debate is good because debate is mentally stimulating for people. It is required for keeping the entire ecosystem of the brain operationally good. People who don't debate, I think, miss out that big opportunity to have peace is not just obtained by being calm with the mind, it's also obtained by a lot of good debate.
you.